Welcome back to Scooter Operations Repair School. I'm your host Chris with Scooter Operations of Phoenix. This is our virtual e-scooter repairs shop, and continuing the series, today we have a GOTRAX Tour XP. We are doing part one of a two-part series, so in this I like to call them halves. We are attacking the first half of a GOTRAX rear flat. We're going to replace the inner tube, and we'll show you each step along the way. Check out our school page. Moving right into it, let's go to scene. Okay, so here is our wheel that we are fixing today. Okay. And let's introduce our live Q&A. Oh, and there's our boy. What kind of e-scooter are you fixing today, boss? Chris at ScooterOps.com. You can always send an email to us if you have any questions. Okay? And that's a great question, Fumbler, because we are working on a GOTRAX Tour XP rear flat. Okay? This tire has become flat for our client. We're going to get in here, removing the removing the fender. We call these removable plates fenders. If they're plastic, they hold and hide the lug nut. Okay? So we'll be removing the fender, removing the wheel, taking out the tube, and then ordering a tube. If you have the tube already, you can move to part two, where we put the tube back in and the tire on. For today, we're removing the tire and taking the tube out. The first half of our two-part GOTRAX Tour XP rear flat series. Okay, so part one. All right. Keyboard and mouse go away now, and out come the toolbox. Okay, don't forget, grab yourself a tin cup so that everything you take off of the scooter goes into the tin cup so you don't lose anything. Okay, I'm going to put that right about there. Okay, all right, first things first, let me look at this, right? Let me look at this. Okay, so we're going to start right here, and it looks like we need a 2.5 millimeter T-wrench, hex wrench, or a 3. So I'm going to grab those from my toolbox. Alright, so we have our T-wrenches, 4 and 5. We'll save those for later, but we're going to try the 3 first. And it's a 3. So let's crank those out, shall we? Getting right into it. There's one into the tin. You like to hear that crack at the beginning because that's the screw force tension being released. And that means you don't have a stripped entity. Okay, so this bracket is already off, this fender. Don't lose any plastic parts or anything. So we have a nice view of the wheel in this session, which is great. Okay, we're going to attack this with the adjustable wrench. Actually, before I do that, I want to flip the scooter over and remove the other side. So yeah, it's a bit of a journey showing all parts and steps, but that is what ScooterOps repairs is all about. So I'm going to flip the scooter around. Okay, so now we have yet another fender to remove. Okay, that's gonna be the best for that angle. Re-grabbing the 3. Re-grabbing the 3mm hex wrench. Just gonna unscrew these, okay? And they're coming right out, they're not stripped. More often than not, we do receive stripped screws on these e-scooters. And in the future, when we come to it, I will be demonstrating how to remove those. So this fender is already coming off, guys. Alright, so 2 plastic fenders already removed. Now we see a motor wire here attached by cable tie and a lug nut. So when I remove a bracket, I sometimes like to, actually when I remove any entity on the scooter and I get to a point where I need to remember something, I take a picture of it, okay? Everybody has a smartphone, so take out your smartphone and grab a picture of how just this is tucked away nice and neat, right? Just gonna grab that, okay? And already moving on to the adjustable wrench. Let's see if this removes our lug nut, okay? Go ahead, adjust that like so. And we're gonna wrench that off. Oh yeah, that's really on there. For video's sake, I'm gonna flip the scooter around again because I don't have the best setup on that side, okay? So we're coming back to this side, all right? Now I can sit down and try to wrench it off. A lot of force. There we go. A lot of force on that sucker, huh? All right. There we go. Okay. So now that we broke the tension force, we can ratchet or wrench it off. These are the lug nuts. These are the nuts that hold the wheel onto the frame of the GOTRAX Tour XP. And that shit's coming right off. Okay. Into your tin, okay? Everything goes in the tin. Don't lose anything. Okay, we gotta flip it back over and do the other side. Hopefully it won't be as difficult because now half of the tension force is broken. Okay. Let's grab this side. Ooh, that's really on there, but we got it. We got it, guys. Wrench that sucker off. Okay. Sometimes I like to think that the lug nuts separate the men from the boys. If you can get the lug nut off, you're no longer a boy on a scooter, you're a man fixing a scooter. But nonetheless, we're getting it off. Okay. Come on. The motor cable is holding it on there ever so slightly. I think that should be enough to get the wheel off. So let's reposition once again. Well, let's use your fingers, okay? Try to get it off. So another reason to have an adjustable wrench instead of a regular, well, never mind, hold that thought. We're gonna try to get this off. Come on now, I think it's off. I'm rushing a little bit. I have no reason to rush, but I am. It's just an awkward angle, but we're gonna get it off any day now. There we go. Okay. So that lug nut slides along the motor cable. All right, let's flip it back around. The shot, okay? That's our shot, okay? So now the wheel should slip right off of here. It's not, and that's because the brake caliper is holding the disc brake a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen up the brake, or not the brake, but the brake. The brake's going to we're just going to loosen it up so we can it lets go of the disc brake. For that, I believe we need R4. Okay, so we got our 4 T-wrench, our 4 T-wrench, and that's gonna come in there and undo the brake a little bit. So there's 2 machine screws that hold the brake to the frame, and we're just loosening those up so it lets go a little bit. They don't need to be completely off. They can be completely off. We just want to loosen that up so the wheel comes off. There we go, guys. So now we removed our wheel, and don't lose your washers, okay? So at this point, just grab hold of your washers. Really sticking on there, okay? Don't lose your lawyer's lips washers. Those hold the apparatus together. At this point, I personally like to remove the disc brake because it gets in the way of things. So we're going to throw our 3 wrench right into the 6 screws that are holding the disc brake on. This is a 120 disc brake. We're just going to break the tension on all those screws. Hopefully they're not stripped. More often than not, they are stripped. These are not stripped. Great. And we broke 4 of 6, 5 of 6, 6 of 6. Great. So you just want to break the tension force, and now you can unscrew your screws. All 6 into the tin cup. We are removing the disc brake. We are removing the disc brake on a GOTRAX XP, fixing a rear flat. Okay. Size 3 wrench is removing the screws from the disc brake. I love these T-wrenches. I just love when they're in my hands. Okay. Alrighty. So that disc brake is coming right off. Just throw that on the table. Okay, so now I'm just studying the opposite side. Let's flip her over once again. flipping. A lot of flipping, if you know what I mean. Okay. So, we have a cable tie, but it's not really holding anything. Oh, it's holding the, it's holding a fold in the wire. So we're going to break that cable tie. And once again, we took a picture of that. So now I'm grabbing my pliers. Gonna grab my pliers from my toolbox, okay? Pliers. And we're gonna snip that. We're gonna snip that cable tie holder. Being careful not to damage the motor cable at all. Okay? Just wanna snip that off. There we go, okay? And we slightly pricked the motor cable, but that's okay. We didn't do any internal damage, even close. We're going to release that now, and you'll see the connectors. There they are, okay? So there's your connectors, and the wheel, as you can see, is now removed from the scooter. And this is yet another reason why I completely recommend GOTRAX as the best brand in the e-scooter industry. Why? Because their scooters are most easily repairable. So now that the scooter is differentiated from the wheel, we can put the whole scooter on the shelf, and or I should say, now that the wheel is off the scooter, we can put the whole scooter on the shelf. Okay? So, let's go ahead and do that. Out of the way goes the scooter. There we go. Okay. So, we have our wheel now and it's flat. And again, this is just the first half. We want to remove the tire and identify what kind of tube is in here. Okay? So, what you want to do with GOTRAX especially, and also other scooters, is you want to see if the rim is what's called a split rim, meaning the rim divides over the cross section. I don't know if that's the right word, but the rim splits in two like this, so it comes together and then splits this way. And I am pretty sure this is a split rim because of the machine screws in the rim here. So we have these smaller machine screws on the inner circle that hold the motor apparatus and cabling, not cabling, the motor copper wiring in the internal motor that covers that. But on the outside you can see there's a little bit bigger size 4 machine screws that seem to hold the rim on. So we're going to attack those and see if this is indeed split rim. So don't lose your machine screws into your tin. Okay. I think there's 6 of them. Okay, 1, 2, and good practice, break the tension force first. on all 6. Is it tension force or friction force? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to be taking those screws out. Into the tin. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. All right, so this thing's a little dirty, but we're going to see now, is it split rim? Is it in fact a split rim? And it looks like it is. And if you get stuck here, just grab a piece of metal and try to pry off the rim. And you'll see it's almost like magic. This part of the rim comes off, and holding it upright, the other half of the rim, well, it actually stays on, but the wheel should come off now. Okay, you have to release the valve stem and use a little bit of muscle here. So we're going to grab needle nose pliers. Needle nose pliers are going to grab the valve stem out of that position it's in there. That's the last thing kind of holding it on. Push it out with a 4. I'm just pushing the valve stem, trying to get it up and out of its little socket there. Takes a little bit of muscle. Okay, needle nose pliers, back in and out this button. Okay, so there's your rim and motor assembly. It's actually quite interesting because it's half of a motor assembly, and then the other split rim holds it on. Okay, a little dirty, but you can see now that the tube is in here, and we're going to take it out and we're going to identify what kind of tube it is. So it looks like an angled valve stem on a 10 by 2 1/4. Okay, so that tube is no bueno. That's going in the recycle bin. And as far as the tire itself, you just want to give a little inspection here. So bang out the debris. Okay, there's a rotting away rubber entity that resembles dirt or dust. Gets in there. You want to get all that out. And then you want to inspect the tire, just see if there's any nails or staples in it. Okay, inspect the outside. Okay, inspect the inside. And I don't feel anything. Put your fingers in there, feel for staples. I don't see anything. So we know that we just had a bad tube and not a puncture. Okay, so the tire can go on the shelf, and yeah, that is the first half of our project. So GOTRAX Tour XP rear flat. Part 1 is complete. The second part of the video is literally just doing the opposite once we have the tube, now we have the tube, so we're going to order it. And we're going to order a 10 by 2.5 inch angled valve stem tube for a GOTRAX Tour XP. And it's going to go on, and we're going to, you know, simply undo everything we did, but we're also going to show blowing it up and putting the split rim back together. Okay? So there you have it, guys. That's the first half of our project today, and yeah, check out our school page and check out our website. Okay, check out our school page, check out our website, and if you live in Phoenix, once again, visit ScooterOps.com/repairs and fill out a form, and we will get to repairing your scooter as quickly as possible. We have a 3-week guarantee where if you have a broken scooter, we try to fix it in 3 weeks, and if we can't fix your broken scooter in 3 weeks, then we give your broken scooter back to you. Okay? So that's the 3-week guarantee, and yeah, visit our school page, and thanks for coming to the virtual e-scooter repair shop. I'm your host, Chris, and we will see you in the next one, guys. Thank you, and goodbye.